Good evening, everyone. My name is William Iannuzzi. I'm president of the Board of Education, and we are about to reconvene the public session of the meeting. Colleagues, can I get a motion and a second to reconvene the public session of the meeting?
So move, Lewis.
Second, Jacob.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Can we all please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, first up on our agenda tonight is announcements by Board of Education members. Do any of my colleagues have any announcements they would like to make? Ms. Clayton Fernandez?
Yes, so welcome everyone. Nice full room. Have some fun things. It looks like Ward is the big star tonight. I just wanted to share some, given the climate that we're in, that the school district is taking strong, organized steps to keep our students safe with the Protect program. And the thing that I wanted to share was that for parents and students and colleagues or whatnot, there is a specific invitation that's posted around for cybersecurity. I'm looking for it really quick. Hold on. But I do think that it is about information. It is about that ability to discern, safety issues. So there is a free class to learn about preparing for emergencies. It's going to be held May 7th, 6 o'clock at the New Rochelle City Hall. And there's a registration form, and you can kind of see it posted, but it is a registration process. But I do think it would, it talks about severe weather conditions and the Citizen Preparedness Training Program. It is hosted by Homeland Security and Emergency Services. It is brought to you by Governor Hochul, and it's in conjunction with the National Guard and our city and fire department. So just a little public service on that one. So thank you for listening.
Thank you, Ms. Clayton Fernandez. Anybody else? Ms. Lewis?
Very quickly, the fund had a Spring Out Loud event yesterday from 5:30 at the New Rochelle High School Library for a poetry, music, art, food, and drinks evening. So I just want to say thank you to those that attended and enjoyed themselves, and thank you to the fund for continuing to support our students.
Thank you, Ms. Lewis. Anybody else for any announcements? All right, seeing none, we're going to move over to the superintendent's report. Dr. Reynolds, I'll throw it over to you.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. This evening, in the interest of time, I will not be making a report.
Thank you, Dr. Reynolds. Next up are discussion items, the first being the ward presentation. So Dr. Reynolds, I'll let you set the stage.
Thank you very much again, and good evening to everyone, those of you who are here in person, and those of you who might be watching from elsewhere. This evening, we are going to visit with our final school for this year, right? So I don't want to make anybody else jealous, but I'm going to say, sometimes the best is saved for last. I don't know. I think, Mr. Mealy, I expect my check tomorrow. So tonight we are going to be visited by Ward Elementary School, one of the state's largest elementary schools, and most especially one of the largest elementary schools in Westchester County. This school is led by our leader, our principal, and without further ado, I'm going to invite up to the microphone, Mr. Franco Mealy.
Good evening, President Iannuzzi, Vice President Lewis, esteemed board members, Dr. Reynolds, central office staff and administrators, community, families, and friends. Welcome to our Ward School presentation. Tonight, yet again, is a very special and fantastic night as we get to share, highlight, and showcase some of the wonderful things that go on here each and every day. I always say that Ward School is the very best in our tremendous school district, and I always find it extremely important to thank our Ward School community and family. Our school community consists of our fantastic students, staff, and families. They are all the ones that make us shine in our wonderful school district. They are all truly special. As a Ward family, they are committed to the success and well-being of all of our students. Our Ward community is a true pleasure to work with each and every day. Our staff at Ward School and the entire school district is second to none. As we've experienced major budget cuts to our school this year, it is remarkable to see our Ward family pull together and continue to be a great source of pride for our school district. So a big thank you goes to the Ward staff. They are all truly inspirational. As I'm now finishing my 16th year as the principal here at Ward, I continue to wake up each day grateful and humbled to be coming to a place I truly love. Again, thank you. I would now like to thank and introduce my leadership team that is here tonight. First, our amazing literacy coach, Viviana Tamas. Next, our talented math coach, Nicole Conless. And finally, our two fantastic assistant principals who continue to bring so much to our school each and every day, Karen Gonzalez and Jessica Bandel. It is a truly amazing team and one I am so proud of. Each of them have such an inner desire to make Ward School the very best. These four educators truly are remarkable and help keep Ward at the top. I am truly honored to call them colleagues and friends, so thank you. At this time, we will continue with our presentation, which will include a presentation on our ELA plan for the year and our 10-year recognition of our great staff. Tonight, we will be discussing our ELA practices. At this time, I would like to bring up Mrs. Vandell.
Good evening, members of the Board of Education, Superintendent Reynolds, and colleagues. We would like to begin with Ward's 2025-2026 literacy goal and the plan that we've developed to achieve it. Our goal for this school year is clear and measurable. By June 30th, 2026, increase decoding phonics growth rates by 5% as measured by STAR assessments, UFly pre-post assessments, and AMIRA when comparing fall 2025 and spring 2026 data. This goal focuses on strengthening students' foundational reading skills, specifically decoding and phonics. Decoding refers to a student's ability to apply knowledge of letter-sound relationships to accurately read words, while phonics involves understanding how letters and combinations of letters represent sounds. These skills are essential building blocks for reading fluency and comprehension. This comparison from fall to spring data allows us to evaluate how much progress students made over time, rather than focusing only on a single point of achievement. By using these three measures, we can triangulate data to gain a clear and balanced understanding of student growth. So why the shift in programs? Ward School made the decision to transition from the Foundations program in grades K-2 to the UFly, University of Florida Literacy Institute Foundations program for the 2025-2026 school year in order to strengthen alignment with current research on how students learn to read, often referred to as the science of reading. This shift reflects a commitment to providing the most effective, evidence-based literacy instruction for all students. UFly Foundations offers several key benefits. It is a highly explicit systematic phonics program that provides clear, consistent routines for both teachers and students. Lessons emphasize cumulative review and have built-in progress monitoring tools and intervention supports. In grades 3 through 5, Ward School implemented 95% group word study as a cohesive approach to continuing to build students' literacy skills beyond the early childhood grades. This decision ensured that students received continued explicit instruction in word analysis, advanced phonics, morphology, and multisyllabic word reading. Just as UFly does, 95% group word study aligned with the principles of the science of reading. Both programs are academically rigorous, meet New York State Next Generation Learning Standards, and require students to engage in systematic, explicit, and cumulative analysis of language, promoting deep mastery of phonics, word structure, and decoding skills. Together, the adoption of UFly in K-2 and 95% in grades 3 through 5 creates a unified, research-based literacy framework for students across Ward School. This alignment supports all students in developing strong foundational skills, promoting instructional coherence, and positions Ward to improve reading outcomes for every learner.
Good evening, everyone. So our work didn't start in September. This journey launched in May of 2025. We began a full phonics curriculum audit and selection process in grades K through 3, ensuring we chose a program aligned to the science of reading and our students' need. At the same time, we were designing how teachers would learn and implement them. In collaboration with teachers, coaches, administrators, and curriculum partners, we mapped out a year-long professional learning plan. Our goal was to have teachers prepared for September, ready and confident. We introduced this full roadmap during the September opening faculty meeting, so teachers knew exactly what support they would be provided with. This plan became our North Star. It has guided our PLCs, coaching cycles, and instructional focus all year. To sustain professional learning, we built multiple layers of support across the year. Monthly PLCs serve as our engine for continuous learning and teacher collaboration. Intervisitations, including a visit to Davis School and across grade levels at Ward, helped bring the curriculum to life. To deepen expertise, I had the honor of attending training at BOCES with Dr. Holly Lane, the creator of UFly. That learning was directly turnekeyed to our staff during one of our faculty meetings. Coach-facilitated lab sites offer teachers the opportunity to observe and then debrief on the methods and strategies in place. We also leveraged one of our superintendent's conference day for targeted learning with a 95 group representative via Zoom. Coaching cycles provide teachers with individualized, real-time support as they implement their daily lessons. We continue to establish ongoing relationships with staff developers, both at 95% group and UFly, to ensure our practices are always aligned and current. At the core of this work is one idea: instruction is the fuel for rigor. Our phonics and word study work is not isolated. It is directly supported with the district's goal of providing rigorous instruction for our students. Teachers have spent time this year in exploring the rigor indicators. Over the course of this year, we have built a shared language around rigorous instruction. Rigor is defined as a student-centered, inclusive approach that prepares students to engage with complex tasks. We've shifted our mindset from harder work to deeper thinking, stronger facilitation, and intentional scaffolding. Strong foundational skills like decoding and word study serve as the gateway, empowering our students to access rigorous tasks in all other subject areas. Teachers have dedicated time this year examining how task design and instructional facilitation in our phonics programs work together to drive rigorous student-centered learning. In the second image, third graders are using morphology cards from the 95% phonics program. This moves students beyond just decoding words. It helps them understand meaning through prefixes, suffixes, and roots. They're breaking down complex multisyllabic words into meaningful parts, and this is where comprehension begins. In the final image, kindergarten students are applying their phonics skills to continuous decodable text. They are practicing blending sounds together, building reading confidence, and gaining meaning from the text, which is our ultimate goal. This is critical. Students are not just learning skills in isolation, they are applying them in authentic reading and writing contexts throughout their day. Across all of these examples, you see key rigor indicators in action. Students are using academic language. Strategic scaffolds are in place, ensuring student success. Instruction is driven by student data, and students are applying learning to new situations. Thank you.
Good evening, and thank you for being here tonight. I'd like to share a brief overview of our students' reading progress this year, explain what our STAR reading data tells us, highlight what's working, and outline our next steps to keep that growth growing. What is reading proficiency? Reading proficiency is more than just being able to read. It means students can accurately read words on the page, understand what they're reading, make sense of vocabulary and ideas, and apply what they read to new situations. When students are proficient from their grade level, they are on track to meet or exceed expectations and to succeed across the curriculum. To monitor this, we use the STAR reading assessment 3 times a year, in the fall, winter, and spring. The key ideas of reading proficiency that are evaluated are word recognition, vocabulary, comprehension, and fluency. This assessment gives us information about each student's reading level, and it allows us to see how students are growing over time. We use this data to identify who needs more support or more challenges and to adjust our instruction accordingly. From fall to winter this year, our STAR reading data shows the average proficiency level for grades 1 through 5 was 58% in the fall, and in the winter of 2026, the average reading proficiency was 66%, showing an 8% growth increase. This means a noticeably larger share of students are now on or above grade level than they were at the beginning of the year. Just as important, most of our subgroups have shown growth. Students with different backgrounds, needs, and supports are all moving in the right direction. This tells us that our approach is working broadly, not just for a small group of students. These gains are not by chance. They are the results of the very intentional work by our teachers and staff. Factors contributing to our growth. First, we have been teaching with strong fidelity to our scope and sequence. That means we follow a clear plan for which reading skills are taught and when, so that every student gets systematic, well-ordered instruction without gaps. Second, we are using explicit and systematic instruction. Teachers directly teach reading skills and build them step by step from simple to more complex, rather than expecting students to simply pick it up. Third, students engage in a daily practice in encoding and decoding, sounding out and reading words, and also spelling and writing them. This daily practice strengthens phonics, accuracy, and fluency, which are essential for comprehension. Fourth, we are committed to data-driven decision-making. Teachers regularly review STAR reading scores and classroom assessments and use information to form small groups, choose interventions, and decide what to reteach or extend. We are also using multisensory techniques that engage students through sight, sound, and movement. When students see, say, hear, and write words, it supports different learning styles and helps the learning stick. Finally, our teachers are not doing this work in isolation. Through teacher collaboration, professional learning communities, and coaching cycles, they analyze data together, share strategies, receive feedback, and support. That collaboration has been a major driver of the progress we're seeing. To support our reading growth, we've also focused on building a strong community of readers. This year, we held a school-wide readathon with Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory theme. Students earned golden tickets as they met reading goals, and fun incentives were embedded, which made reading exciting and motivated. We also hosted a literacy night where parents and students came to school in the evening to participate in a variety of engaging literacy stations created by our literacy team. Our principal, Mr. Mealy, did a special read aloud for students, making it a shared, family-centered celebration of reading. In addition, we have class buddies, where an upper grade class and a lower grade class regularly partner to read together and complete enrichment activities. This promotes collaboration, mentorship, and a love of reading across grade levels. All of these efforts, our readathon, literacy night, and class buddies, help create a culture where reading is valued, enjoyed, and shared, which directly supports our students' reading growth. Looking ahead, we are encouraged by the growth, but we want to continue to thrive. We see this as a foundation to build on. Our next steps to further support our reading growth includes continuing to adhere with fidelity to our reading programs so every student receives the full benefit of high-quality research-based instruction, integrating aligned decodable text that match the phonics skills students are learning so they can immediately apply those skills in real reading and build confidence, strengthening differentiation so instruction is better tailored to each student's needs, providing extra support for those who are behind and greater challenge, and enrichment for those who are ready to move ahead. By staying focused on these priorities, we expect to see continued growth as we move from winter to spring and into future school years. Finally, I like to close with a quote from Victor Hugo that captures why this work matters so much. To learn to read is to light a fire. Every syllable that is spelled out is a spark. Every new word our students read, every book they finish, every skill they master is another spark. Together as educators, families, and a community, we are helping to light that fire in each child. Thank you for your time, your support, and your partnership in helping our students grow as readers.
So as you can see, we were doing some incredible work with our ELA. A big thank you to my team and the entire staff at Ward School. I would like to now recognize our one tenure recipient, Mr. Anthony Capola. Mr. Capola, please stand. Mr. Capola is our school psychologist that is dedicated to the district-wide positive alternative techniques classes at Ward. Mr. Capola began his career at Ward School as a college intern and then transitioned to a probationary position. Mr. Capola is an extremely hardworking and dedicated employee. He strives to be the very best each and every day. Mr. Capola has developed amazing relationships with his students. They absolutely love him. Mr. Capola connects with all of his students. Mr. Capola provides a safe and secure environment for his students. Mr. Capola is an extremely talented psychologist. Mr. Capola is thoroughly prepared each day. He continues to go above and beyond for his students, Ward School, and our entire community. He participates in all the extra activities at Ward. Mr. Capola is a true team player and is absolutely loved at Ward. Additionally, Mr. Capola has demonstrated exceptional dedication, professionalism, and clinical skill throughout the academic years. A key area of strength has been the implementation and integration of dialectical behavior therapy strategies with students, significantly contributing to the social emotional development and mental health support services within the PAC class. Mr. Capola is a vital asset to the school community, and I fully support his recommendation for tenure. Thank you. To finish up our presentation, I would first like to thank our Board of Education for all of your support for Ward School. The support I've been given both professionally and personally has been truly amazing, so thank you all again. I would also like to thank Dr. Reynolds and our central office team. I believe we continue to stay strong during some difficult times. I would also like to give a big thank you to my direct supervisors, Dr. Roberts and Dr. Krakow. Dr. Roberts and Dr. Krakow are amazing people to work so closely with, and I cannot thank them enough. As I'm very proud of the fact that I'm the longest tenured principal in New Rochelle, I look forward to many more years to come. And with that being said, I say this every year, I'm truly blessed and honored to be the principal of Ward School. So thank you all again and have a great evening.
Don't go too far, Mr. Milley. So, board trustees, to our community, I would like to express a sincere thank you to the Ward community for presenting information tonight. Mr. Capola, congratulations to you. Ms. Mahaffey is going to want to take your picture for posterity, so please go over to see her as we talk about the next steps in this path of discovery. So, Mr. Milley, go on over. I have a couple things to say. So in reflection of the presentation tonight and in reflection of how the presentation was made, you can see that collaboration is indeed the major driver for the success of our students in the district and especially over at Ward. Tonight, I believe this is one of the first examples of this year of the principal and assistant principals and community members presenting in such unison in terms of what takes place at Ward. Also, I would like to highlight a quote that was stated. Instruction is the fuel for rigor. Instruction is the fuel for rigor. Adhering to our tenets, adhering to the expectations of instructional delivery, adhering to best practices is what will always move students forward. As long as those best practices are discovered through collaboration, collaborative discussion, conversations, professional learning circles, and things of that like. And I have to commend the membership of the ward staff for doing that. That adherence to the rigor, that collaboration, and the use of the multi-tiered systems of support, which dictates that we have to look at students' individual skills and the deficiencies of some of those skills and apply corrective actions during either a 6 or 8 week cycle, and then reassessing the students on those skills allows us to build each student up depending on what it is that they need in that moment. So the success at Ward School is something that can be replicated. It's something that can be dissected, and something that I want to greatly thank you for your leadership and for all of your expertise in making that happen for our students. And with that, I turn any questions over to the board president and the board members.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Dr. Reynolds. Do any of my colleagues have any comments or questions? Yep, Mr. Vega.
Thank you. Yes, I didn't have a question. I just wanted to thank everyone. Thank you for the presentation. It's great to see the progress being made. I also wanted to thank all the parents and teachers who came to City Hall. I know we had to change the logistics for the past few meetings. So for all the parents and everyone who has come to City Hall for the past few meetings, I want to thank you for doing that. And we also missed out on the student presentations during that time. So the board also owes that. So we'll make that up as well to the schools as well. So thank you so much.
Mr. Vega, any other comments or questions for my colleagues? Ms. Clayton Fernandez?
Yes. So beating the strongest building block for our youth to get started. I'm just curious, as you've been the principal for quite some time, you were the principal there when my kids were there. Has it, in terms of technology and whatnot, what's your temperature on the new terms of AI and all of that? Does that, interfere with the phonetics and the phonics programs and whatnot?
I'll bring up my expert.
Has it changed in the last, and it's new struggles.
So we do acknowledge, the digital component. One thing that's been beneficial for teachers in terms of using technology, UFly provides slides for us. So we all have the same content. And then how we differentiate is up to us as teachers. And then in terms of, our students, we use Lexia Core 5, which is like a supplemental digital program that addresses, everything from phonemic awareness to comprehension. So that's been an asset for us. We try to have technology enhance our instruction, in phonics
Right.
and reading, but, it's still balance it all out. I'm a traditional like paper and pencil girl, but, our students need exposure
Yeah.
to both.
Thank you very much. It was wonderful to see the growth and the detail to, the laser focus to the details for the community to see the growth. So thank you for that.
Thank you, Ms. Clayton Fernandez. Ms. Williams?
Okay. Good evening. Thank you, Mr. Mealy, for the presentation, and thank you for collaborating with your wonderful team. And team, thank you for all of the work that you're doing with our children. And I have two questions. The first question is, can you explain what the 95% group is?
So it's our new phonics program that we're using for 3 through 5. And Viv, my literacy coach, is going to take you through it again.
Oh, thanks.
So 95% program is another phonics company. They also do, so it's word study in grades 4 through 5, and then phonics for grade 3. Because UFly teaches phonics K through 2, so we needed something to bridge third, because many third graders still need phonics. So we found that 95 was the perfect bridge between UFly, where UFly ended up 95 picked up, and then 4th and 5th, they go on to using that program for word study, which focuses more on morphology.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And my other question is in reference to slide number 9. And no, I take that back. It's slide number 13, 25, 26 star reading proficiency data. And we see some really great gains with our subgroups. And, two in particular, they made an increase of 11 points or 12 points. So, did you fly or did the 95% group, how did that impact that
Mhm.
growth, or what else was done to help the students to make that growth?
Yeah, I attribute it to 95 and UFly because both of those programs are teaching the foundation in order to access, the comprehension and vocabulary skills that are necessary to show on the STAR reading. So I feel like it definitely is a contributing factor. It's just one piece of reading. There's still that language comprehension, but I feel we've come such a long way and across the whole district, really building those foundational skills. And then our next step, we'd like to go into more language as a future goal.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Williams. Any other of my colleagues have any comments or questions?
Very briefly, thanks for coming. Congratulations on tenure. This is a very brief one, I guess perhaps for the folks on the board, but also for the folks at home. Can you just very briefly re-explain what scaffolding is for those that don't know?
Scaffolding is offering students a system of supports until you can think about an analogy of scaffolding being on a building. It's there until it's no longer needed and then it's removed and the student is able to do the task more independently. So it's a way to help the child attain the learning target, attain the goal that you have, that the teacher has prescribed for that student.
Thank you.
All right, seeing no more comments and questions, thank you guys very much.
So thank you very much to our award team, and we know that we need you fresh for tomorrow, especially with the big state testing. All right, thank you very much for your attendance tonight. This evening, we're going to transition to our next presentation. At our last meeting, we were introduced to the Department of Curriculum and Instruction as it relates to our strategic roadmap, and we began our conversation of what trends in instruction have been taking place and what it's been producing in terms of our student performance and proficiency. We've also had some conversation as it relates to the improvement to some of our practices relating to how we instruct our students and all of the things needed to support those efforts. Tonight, we're going to continue that conversation. We are going to be led in that conversation again by Dr. Olivine Roberts, who's our Assistant Superintendent for Curriculum and Instruction. Dr. Roberts.
Thank you, Dr. Reynolds. Good evening, Board President Iannuzzi, board members, community, and everyone present here tonight. I am pleased to be before you again to present the last two objectives of the Student Learning Direction, Objectives D and E. To guide our discussion this evening, I will proceed as follows. Begin by setting the context for tonight's presentation, reflect on our 24-25 goals, and highlight key accomplishments related to objectives D and E. From there, share this year's goals with an emphasis on our priority areas of focus, and we'll conclude with a look ahead. As is our practice, I will briefly ground our discussion in the district's core anchors and succinctly review our comprehensive K-12 programs and supports. As you have seen, time and time again, our vision, mission, and equity statements remain our guiding anchors, grounding our commitment to high-quality learning for all students. They, along with our whole child approach, create the conditions for students to feel valued, supported, empowered to reach their full potential. As a reminder, this slide illustrates how the pillars and our whole child approach are implemented across our pre-K-12 experience through academic, and enrichment programming, targeted supports, and a commitment to continuous improvement. Together, these efforts ensure that all students are positioned to thrive. As an additional reminder, this work is also guided by our strategic roadmap and directly supports the student learning direction. In service to our overarching goal, Objective D focuses on expanding access to advanced coursework, ensuring that students have equitable opportunities to participate and succeed in programs such as advanced placement, AP, and dual enrollment. Objective E centers on increasing our four-year graduation rate while also working to reduce disparities across student groups. This slide outlines the metrics, baselines, and 2029 targets for objectives D and E, allowing us to monitor progress over time. For Objective D, access to advanced coursework, we are monitoring two metrics: student participation in AP and dual enrollment courses, along with student performance on AP exams and the attainment of college credits. The composite baseline for student participation is 45.3%, and our hope is to increase access to 63% by 2029. The composite baseline for student performance stands at 56%, with a target of reaching 70% by 2029. For Objective E, graduation rate, we're focused on increasing the district's four-year average graduation rate from the baseline of 85% to 87% by 2029. Let's now review last year's goals and key accomplishments for these two objectives. Again, as noted on the slide, we're just reminding you of our overarching goal and focus objectives, D and E. To evaluate our progress toward these two objectives, last year we established the following two goals. Goal 2, remember last time we addressed Goal 1, so going in order, this is now Goal 2. Aligned to Objective D, advanced coursework, we aimed to increase the percentage of students enrolled in at least one AP or dual enrollment course by 6%, and increase the percentage of students scoring at least a 3 on AP exams or earning college credits through dual enrollment by 2%. Goal 3, again aligned to Objective E, graduation rate, we aspired to increase the graduation rate, the district's overall four-year rate, by 2%. These goals were intentionally set to ensure we remained on track to meet our 2029 targets. Now we will highlight our 2024-25 key accomplishments aligned to these two objectives, starting with Objective D, advanced coursework. In service to this objective, last year, we continued to provide access by offering high school courses to students in middle school. We sustained the implementation of the Grade 6 Whole Grade Math Acceleration Program, which is an initiative that provides incoming sixth graders who demonstrate mathematical ability and disposition the opportunity to engage in coursework beyond the standard grade level curriculum. This goal is to place these students on a trajectory that allows for participation in AP or other advanced learning opportunities in mathematics by the time they reach the junior year of high school. Our high school continued to offer an impressive slate of college-level coursework, including 17 dual enrollment classes and 33 AP courses. The dual enrollment courses were offered in collaboration with Syracuse University, Mercy University, and Westchester Community College. To best position our students for success in these rigorous pathways, our high school delivered comprehensive, targeted supports to maximize student success, including during the day and after school extra help and test prep sessions with teachers, as well as peer tutoring, intensive summer boot camps designed to prepare students for upcoming AP courses by building confidence and strengthening foundational skills and course readiness, continued implementation of student success plans, including timely academic interventions such as credit recovery, course selection guidance, transcript audits, and graduation requirement monitoring, along with coordinated wraparound supports addressing students' social, emotional, behavioral, and attendance needs. Regular counselor check-ins with support, ongoing course planning, the use of My Brother's Keeper and Sister's Keep Her programs to provide relationship building, social emotional learning supports, and leadership development opportunities, particularly for our underrepresented students, as well as one-to-one trusted adult support network, ensuring students have a consistent connection to a trusted adult who encouraged academic confidence, offered guidance, and connected them to resources aligned with their aspirations and needs. Our high school leaders and staff continued to engage students and families in ongoing conversations through course information and guidance family night sessions, in which they elevated student voice, highlighted the benefits of AP and dual enrollment, addressed common myths and realities of advanced coursework, including the distinctions between AP and dual enrollment, and surfaced the importance of supporting students' social emotional well-being. Additionally, outreach was expanded through the continued development of dynamic multilingual digital and print materials, including flyers and an updated webpage with resources outlining the benefits of AP and dual enrollment programs. These materials highlighted how AP courses build confidence, strengthen academic and study skills, and can positively impact GPA, while dual enrollment provides valuable opportunities to earn college credit through our partnerships with our post-secondary institutions. To increase accessibility, QR codes were generated, allowing our families easier access to the information and resources at any given time. These collective efforts resulted in our high school earning the College Board Silver Medal Award, recognizing our progress in expanding access to and increasing AP performance. This marks a significant improvement from the previous year when we were awarded the bronze medal. As a reminder, the goal of this objective was to increase enrollment in AP and dual enrollment classes by 6% and increase performance on AP exams and college credit attainment by 2%. Let's now take a look at our results. As reflected on this slide, we were unable to meet our target of 6%. We observed a growth of 3% of students enrolled in at least one AP or dual enrollment course, rising from 43% to 46%. To provide context, the scope of our advanced academic programming, 867 students enrolled in a total of 1,725 distinct AP courses. 392 students enrolled in 487 dual enrollment courses. We are pleased to share that we achieved our target for credit attainment. 73% of students earned a score of 3 or higher on AP exams or received college credit through dual enrollment courses. This represents a 6% improvement from 2024 to 2025. This disaggregated view of AP and dual enrollment participation shows overall growth at the district level, increasing from 42% in 2023 to 46% in 2025. While participation increased across most racial and ethnic student groups in 2023 to 2025, there was a slight decline for Black students from 2024 to 2025. The data also shows less favorable trends for our students with disabilities and English language learners, where enrollment rates remained largely unchanged. These mixed results underscore the need to continue advancing equitable access and strengthening supports for all student groups in rigorous academic pathways. To deepen our understanding of student participation, we will now examine the data separately for AP and dual enrollment courses. Beginning with our AP enrollment data, of all the students, this is about all students enrolled in an AP course. That is now our denominator. This graph reflects the disaggregated view of students over the 3 years. As illustrated, AP participation continued to increase among Hispanic students across the 3 years. Conversely, there was a slight decrease in AP participation among Black students from 2024 to 2025, and a decline among white students across the 3 years. While rates remained unchanged for students of other races, students with disabilities, and English language learners. Turning to dual enrollment, this graph displays the composition of students who took at least one dual enrollment course disaggregated by student group. Like AP participation, participation continued to increase among Hispanic students, reflecting an average of 5 percentage points over the 3 years. Participation declined among white students, with slight decreases observed among students identified as other races and students with disabilities. And enrollment rates remained unchanged for Black students and English language learners over the 3 years. We will now shift our focus to our performance outcomes. Going from left to right, the combined percentage of students scoring a 3 or higher on the AP exams or earning college credits by taking dual enrollment courses indicate an average year-over-year increase of approximately 5 percentage points across the 3 years. Now, examining each pathway individually, there was an average increase of 6 percentage points in the number of students achieving a score of at least a 3 on AP exams, and the number of students earning college credits via dual enrollment across the 3 years remained relatively the same. Now, we will review the disaggregated analysis of the AP performance by student group. At the district level, we observe strong and consistent growth with an average year-over-year increase of 6 percentage points from 2023 to 2025, reflecting improvement in student success on AP exams. Notably, all racial and ethnic student groups demonstrated gains with an average year-over-year increases year-over-year increases ranging from 5 to 9 percentage points in the number of students scoring at least a 3 on the AP exams across the 3 years. Students with disabilities also showed improvement with an average year-over-year increase of 10 percentage points. However, a decline from 24 to 25 and their overall performance remaining below the district average indicate a continued area of focus. And for English language learners, performance rose sharply in 2024, but declined in 2025, suggesting variability and the need for consistent supports. Overall, the data reflected strong upward momentum in AP performance while reinforcing the importance of sustaining gains and addressing remaining disparities across student groups. Please note that we were unable to obtain this data, disaggregated data, for dual enrollment from our partner post-secondary institutions. So as such, our ability to fully analyze outcomes by student group in dual enrollment courses was not possible. We will now examine Objective E, which centers on our district-wide 4-year graduation rate. In support of Objective E, and to ensure that all students are successfully completing high school and are prepared for college, career, or other post-secondary pathways, our high school continued to implement a comprehensive set of targeted strategies, including quarterly transcript audits to closely monitor student progress and ensure timely interventions. In-time credit recovery for students who missed or failed courses was offered during the day through online platforms and as a part of the extended day program. Student success plans providing targeted academic and wraparound supports to help students succeed in and out of the classroom. Strengthened alignment between ENL and ELA instruction, along with the implementation of a structured literacy course for entering and emerging multilingual learners. Expanded supports for multilingual learners, including the L Summer Reading Initiative and a NYSA slot preparatory course for grades 9 through 11 students. Additional targeted academic and non-academic supports included ELA support classes and extra help sessions during and after school, including peer tutoring for ENL students. The implementation of an attendance improvement protocol, including no-show tracking and the monitoring of students who are regularly truant. The use of restorative practices to address conflict resolution, support student engagement, and minimize the loss of instructional time. And ongoing family outreach and regular student check-ins focusing on academic progress, course planning and scheduling, attendance, social emotional well-being, and addressing emerging barriers to graduation. As a reminder, the goal for this objective was to increase the district 4-year graduation rate by 2%. Examining our results, we begin with the district 4-year graduation rates over the past 3 years 2023, 2024, and 2025. As shown, graduation rates have remained relatively stable during this period. At the district's level, which includes New Rochelle High School, out-of-district, and homebound students, we saw incremental growth from 83% to 84% from the school year 2023 to school year 2024, followed by no change from 2024 to 2025. The high school, as a standalone entity, had rates that remained consistent at 86% across all 3 years. While we did not meet our goal of a 2% increase, the data reflect stability in outcomes. Taking a deeper look at our cohort data for 2023, 2024, and 2025 school years, we will examine outcomes for both the overall district and the high school. This slide displays the 4-, 5-, and 6-year cohort results for the overall district across these 3 years. As shown, graduation rates across all 3 cohorts have remained relatively stable over time. These results reflect overall consistency in graduation outcomes for the district. While the data demonstrate sustained performance, they also underscore the need to accelerate progress in the 4-year rate to meet our targeted goal, and at the same time, they highlight the importance of maintaining and strengthening supports to help students successfully complete graduation requirements, including those who benefit from extended time. This slide provides a disaggregated view of the 2023 school year graduation rates by student group across 4-, 5-, and 6-year cohort groups. 83% of students graduated within 4 years and 86% within 5 and 6 years. Black, Hispanic, and students with disabilities, along with English language learners, demonstrated meaningful gains when given additional time to graduate. White and race other students remain consistently high across all 3 cohorts. However, when compared to the district average and other student groups, students with disabilities and English language learners lagged in both on-time and extended graduation outcomes, highlighting critical areas for ongoing focus and support. This slide presents a breakdown of the graduation rates by student group for the 2024 school year, offering insight into student outcomes over time. 84% of the students graduated within 4 years, 86% within 5, and 87% within 6. While these figures also indicate overall stability, they highlight a persistent and concerning gap as English language learners continued to graduate at lower rates at both the district average and their peers across all timeframes. We will now review the 2025 school year graduation rates by subgroup across the same 3 years. At the district level, graduation rates remained consistent with approximately 84% graduating in 4 years, 87% in 5, and 86% in 6. Black, Hispanic, and white students showed solid performance with graduation rates in the 80% range. Race other students continued to perform at the highest levels with graduation rates approaching or exceeding 90% across the 3 years, 4, 5, and 6 years. For students with disabilities, graduation rates improved with additional time, rising from 65% in 4 years to approximately 70% in 5 and 6 years, though still below the district average. English language learners continue to show the most significant gap, with graduation rates remaining below those of other groups across all 3 cohorts, despite some improvement with extended time. Overall, the data reflect consistent district performance while reinforcing the need to intensify supports for students with disabilities and English language learners to improve both on-time and extended graduation outcomes. Shifting to the analysis of the New Rochelle High School graduation rates for the 23, 24, and 25 school years. Similar to the overall district results, graduation outcomes at the high school have remained stable over this time. The 4-year cohort has held steady at 86% across all 3 years. The 5-year experienced a slight 1% decline from school year 23 to 24 and remained unchanged in 2025. And the 6-year remained high and stable, ranging from 89 to 90%. Again, these trends reflect consistent performance overall, particularly when students were provided with additional time and support, while also emphasizing the importance of strengthening student support systems to help more students graduate on time while maintaining strong extended cohort outcomes. This slide shows a disaggregated analysis of the high school graduation data by student group for the 2023 school year. Consistent with the overall district data, English language learners experience lower graduation rates, reinforcing the need for targeted supports. The 2024 school year data reveals similar patterns and trends. English language learners continue to demonstrate the lowest graduation rate compared to both the overall high school population and their peers. And the 2025 school year outcomes reflected trends similar to prior years. Most student groups, including Black, Hispanic, White, and Race Other, demonstrated consistent performance with gains across 5 and 6 years. Students with disabilities showed improvement with additional time, though rates remained below the overall school average. English language learners continue to demonstrate the most significant gap, with lower graduation rates across all 3 cohort years, despite some gains with extended time. The high school data reflect stable performance while reinforcing the need for sustained data-informed strategies that address the needs of students with disabilities, but in particular, English language learners. As our results indicated, while we have seen areas of progress, there are clear opportunities for growth. Shifting to this year's work, we are building on the progress from the school year 2025 with a renewed focus and a sense of urgency. As a reminder, the phases of this work will continue to focus on expanding opportunities for accelerating outcomes in both advanced coursework and the graduation rate. To measure our progress toward these 2 objectives, we established the following 2 goals for this school year. Goal 2, again in support of Objective D, student participation and performance in advanced coursework. We aim to increase the percentage of students enrolled in at least 1 AP or dual enrollment course by 5%, going from 46% to 51%, and increase the percentage of students scoring at least a 3 on AP exams or earning college credit through dual enrollment by 2%, going from 73% to 75%. Goal 3, which is in alignment to Objective E, we endeavor to increase the district overall 4-year graduation rate by 2%, moving from 84% to 86%. We will begin by focusing on the ongoing work aligned to Objective D, expanding access to advanced coursework. To achieve our goal of increasing student participation while improving performance, we are strengthening student support systems by increasing the frequency of counselor check-ins to guide course selections and readiness. Continuing to provide targeted academic and non-academic supports that build awareness, confidence, and readiness for success in AP and dual enrollment courses, including the continued partnership with My Brother's Keeper and Sisters Keep Her programs, and continued implementation of a one-to-one trusted adult support model. Expanding summer programs to build foundational skills and confidence for students entering AP courses, strengthening family outreach by expanding the development of multilingual digital and print materials to ensure students and families are fully informed about AP and dual enrollment opportunities. And finally, continuing to educate families on the benefits of AP and dual enrollment, we're enforcing a culture of high expectations, informed academic planning, and college readiness. Lastly, we will address Objective E, our district-wide graduation rate. To advance our goal of increasing the graduation rate, we are intensifying our efforts through a focused set of strategies centered on prevention, monitoring, and timely support. As our graduation data showed, our English language learners continue to lag behind their peers. And as such, we're taking targeted action to address this gap. In collaboration with the Boys and Girls Club, we launched an after-school English language arts boot camp for English language learners in grade 12, which meets 3 times a week. We're also continuing key supports, including the NYSA preparatory course for English language learners in grades 9 through 11, a structured literacy course for those entering and emerging ELs, as well as bi-weekly peer tutoring. In addition, this summer, we plan to launch intensive summer programming, including a focus on reading, pre-algebra, and biology, so our students, our ELs, are better prepared as they enter 9th grade. These efforts represents a focused approach to closing the achievement gaps and increasing graduation outcomes for our ELs. For all students, we continue to expand targeted academic and non-academic supports to ensure they can stay on track, including strengthening the implementation of our student success plans to provide individualized supports, providing during the day and after school extra help sessions with teachers, along with Regions prep during the year and summer, increasing counselor check-ins to support ongoing course planning, addressing ongoing attendance interventions, and continuing restorative practices to reduce the loss of instructional time. We're also continuing quarterly transcript audits to monitor progress, ensure equitable course-taking patterns across student groups, and identifying barriers early. To further support students, we expanded in-time credit recovery during the school day, allowing students the time to regain credits, stay on pace, and avoid delays in graduation. Additionally, the high school is piloting a centralized data system to monitor attendance, credit attainment, and Regions completion. This work will support the initial development of our K-12 early warning indicator system, enabling early identification and intervention for students in need. Together, these strategies are designed to accelerate on-time graduation and close gaps across student groups. While we have made progress, we are not satisfied. While we have made progress, we are not satisfied. We remained committed to moving this work forward with urgency, strengthening supports, expanding access, and improving student outcomes for all students. To that end, We offer a look beyond this school year, focusing on sustaining momentum while building stronger system for long-term impact. We will continue to leverage data-informed practices to identify students, to monitor progress, and to provide timely intervention. A key priority will be to ensure vertical alignment of our curriculum, particularly in preparing students for the rigor of AP coursework. We will expand targeted outreach to our underrepresented families, especially to those of students with disabilities and English language learners, to increase awareness and access to advanced opportunities. In addition, we will bolster family engagement efforts, particularly for students experiencing chronic absenteeism. And as shared previously, central to this work is the completion and implementation of our K-12 early warning indicator system, enabling proactive identification and early intervention. Collectively, these efforts move us closer to our vision, move us closer to our vision, driving stronger outcomes, closing gaps, and ensuring our students are on a clear path for success. In closing, while these two objectives focus the work at the high school level, they are built upon the foundation established across our pre-K-8 continuum. So to that end, we extend our sincere gratitude to not only our high school team, they're here if they wouldn't mind standing, but also to all administrators, teachers, support staff, and our central office team. Your leadership, your dedication, your collaboration, they continue to make a lasting difference in our students. So again, I express our deepest appreciation and gratitude for your work. This concludes the presentation. Thank you for your attention, and I welcome your questions.
Thank you very much, Dr. Roberts. Do any of my colleagues have any comments or questions?
I'll kick us off. It's late and you guys have to go to work tomorrow. So I will make this quick. Thank you for the presentation. I was wondering, and this is less of a question, more of a wondering for future, but what we're doing to mitigate the imposter syndrome for students. At least when I was in school, when folks initially mentioned AP and honors courses, my first thought was not, this is going to be amazing. My first thought was, where am I going to get a tutor if I need one? Will my teacher stay after and help me? Like, am I going to know anyone in class? So all those things kind of bubble to the top very quickly. So I was wondering just how we help mitigate the tension and the anxiety around taking those classes.
So I can speak for the past 4 years.
For sure.
In year 5, can't speak before that. And Dr. Artiles, you're welcome to join me as well. I have to say that the high school has remained committed to ensure that those supports continue to grow from year to year. Our partnership with EOS, ensuring that we hear from students what their needs are so we can meet their needs, providing a trusted adult, ensuring that our counselors are meeting with them, providing those supports. Teachers are there, ready to provide in-time supports. The alignment of the work, they can come up and say more, but I believe that that's why we're seeing the increases. If you notice the data, although we didn't meet the enrollment, we did increase by 3%. And what blew me away when we analyzed the data, thanks to Jim Anderson, we had more students taking AP courses. And typically when you do that, you'll see a decline in performance. We did not. We had a 6% increase. So there is something that's going well where we're able to see, do we want to see more students taking AP classes and dual enrollment courses? Yes. And we will continue to cultivate the soil for that to happen. High school team, is there anything else I need to say? That's good? Okay.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you, Ms. Lewis. Any other colleagues, comments, Ms. Clayton?
Hey, so this is very encouraging. I know that there's been a little bit of a flight here and there out of the district. So I think this will draw more people back in, seeing these kind of metrics. I hope that this good news is shared. I do have a concern at the middle school level, both middle schools. I hope that, and it seemed that they are, but I just want to hear your take on the involvement in the pre-coursework because you can't just go to high school and jump right into it. There's a great deal of prep time. And I remember when my kids were in school, they always had reading lists and things like that to kind of prepare. But what's your, what are we doing at the middle school level so that we can increase the kind of motivation and steps of success for the high school track into these greater classes?
So to answer your question, I'm going to go back to my appreciation that I extended. If you notice, I didn't just thank the high school team because they're reaping the benefits, right? And so the benefits begin in elementary and then continue in middle school. I believe the work in middle school is positioning our students. We have students, a few of them, a very few, take AP courses in 9th grade. Okay, we start with a robust push in 10th grade, which is the norm across the country. And so again, for us to be able to have students ready to take, that means they're coming prepared. Do we need to do a better job? Yes, we do. So we're not settling, but we believe we continue to build a very comprehensive pre-K-8 program to position students for advanced coursework. For example, the math acceleration program that I spoke about, the whole grade, we're actually launching it for next school year right now. We had two family engagement sessions, one at Albert and one at Isaac last week and week before last, where we were speaking to students who are in 5th grade and their parents, talking about this opportunity that you can actually bypass grade 6 mathematics.
Okay.
It's called whole grade acceleration. And the purpose of that is to position them to be able to take AP or a dual enrollment course by junior year. So we have programs like that, very robust programs that we are continuing to cultivate and to grow to position our students for these rigorous courses.
Okay, so to that point, and this is again just kind of questioning steps. I noticed in the demographics, the confidence for our students of color are pretty strong in the elementary, looking at the metrics, and then they wane a little bit in middle school. And to get that confidence back up for high school, I just think that there should be a concerted effort in that push to stay positive in the growth that they were building in the elementary, because it looks like the playing field is pretty level. But when you get to middle school, it does seem that the silos and personalities and different things and just life, it does seem to challenge groups a little bit more than others, especially the kids of color.
So as a former middle school teacher, I will tell you that the middle school years are probably the most difficult when you look at the pre-K-12 continuum, right? And this is something that is not unique to the City School District of New Rochelle. When you look at the national research, middle school is the most challenging. They're dealing with adolescence and life and everything that is thrown at them. And at the same time, we have to come around and wrap and not just focus on academics, but also the wraparound supports. So do we need to strengthen middle school? Yes. Do we need to strengthen elementary? Yes. Do we need to strengthen high school? Yes. Do we need to strengthen across the board? Yes. So I hear you, and the work continues. We're not settling.
Well, it's encouraging to see these courses offered and the students succeeding in them. That's a really, that's a very strong sign that they are prepared for college-ready classes. So that part's really positive. And so I say keep it, keep your foot on the gas. Well done.
High school, did y'all hear that?
Any other of my colleagues, Ms. Jacob?
Thank you, Dr. Roberts. A little bit of a tack-on question about the math program. So when students are coming out of the elementary school and coming into the middle school, it sounds like we're looking to maybe track some students into this accelerated math, and that helps track them for the high school.
I wouldn't say track. We
Okay,
place
sorry.
them on, yes, because
Wrong
that
word.
word has a negative
Yeah, yeah.
connotation, right? So students bloom at different times, right? And so adults bloom at different times. People do. So we are positioning ourselves to address students when they bloom. And we have some students who bloom before others. And so about 3 years ago, we identified that as a need and said we needed to address this. So that is what we are doing. And students, when they're in middle school, beyond grade 6, have other opportunities when they bloom to get on this accelerated pathway. It is not the only time.
Thank you. And what are we, what testing or information do we use to assess who's ready for that in the 6th grade?
So what we're currently doing, we have, and I can come back and present at the here or executive session, but it is a very comprehensive rubric having multiple measures. Not only do we measure student achievement, we measure student disposition, their social and emotional ability to engage with students who are older than they are. Right? We also look at their GPA. We look at their performance on national normed assessments. And we then administer, because we want to know with confidence, again, being a math teacher, and Dr. Krakow, who is not here, is also, his area of discipline is mathematics. So both of us, we actually have created a standards-based criterion reference assessment that our students will take to demonstrate to us that they are ready to bypass the grade 6 curriculum. Not only do they take the test, we then conduct an interview with them. So there are multiple, yes, we want to make certain that we have strong confidence that we are positioning these students for success, and we're not wanting them to start on a journey and they plateau and fizzle.
Right.
So we have safeguards in place to ensure that the students who are able have the opportunity. But I'll be happy to come back and share the extensive criteria and process.
Thank you. And then just a question on the graduation rates, and it sounds like as you sort of assess, there's so much like a holistic, like working with families, working with the students, but what are some of, just some of the key themes of how you really make progress in that rate that you feel are so important to focus on?
So I'm going to have the people who are actually doing the work to come and
Thank
assist.
you. Thank you.
I had the feeling I was not going to escape the microphone tonight, but that's okay. Go ahead, Dr. Reynolds.
If I may start off, oftentimes you'll hear me state that the profession of education is about relationship and relationship building. The most productive action that we can have as relates to increasing our graduation rate is increasing our relationship with those students who might be susceptible to not completing the requirements within the given time. It's also creating those wraparound services that Dr. Roberts was talking about, not just for the student, but also for the family. Because oftentimes the family needs to be the fire to motivate them to remain engaged. So then with that, I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Artiles.
And adding to that, specifically, we have found tremendous success on our tracking system in the sense of the transcript auditing that we have actually put in place. And we have actually created a system for credit tracking and to do in-time intervention. We do not believe much about remediation, but we want to do intervention consistently. And we have found tremendous leverage, tremendous success in making sure that we do early intervention warnings, make sure that we address those issues, build upon the relationship with the students, because they need to show up. If they're not in our school, in our classrooms, which is largely based on the relationship and our work with the restorative practices that we have in place, and also minimizing suspension to the best of our ability to ensure that they spend as much time as possible in the classroom. So those three components, while they might look simplistic, they have really produced a tremendous boost to our graduation rate, which we are looking forward to. As Dr. Roberts briefly mentioned, we are now piloting a system that is going to bring all those things together under one single umbrella. And we're very, very excited. We're looking forward to another boost.
Thank you. No, I'm glad you're focusing on that. Thank you. And I just one final question in terms of the APs. There's so many, it's so fantastic. How do we know when it's like enough is enough for one kid? Like, how do we make sure they don't like that they're just kids, right? Because there still is college and there's still the rest of life.
We have an open access program, so we do not limit. I believe my advice to parents is have a conversation with your child. And if they play sport, that's another conversation. If they play an instrument, they impave, that's another conversation. If they have after-school activities, that's another conversation. Each AP class consume about an hour and a half worth of work every night. Do the math and then see how many courses. Because we cannot give you what the magic number is. Sometimes the magic number for one student is one, because you know what, they do in science research. They say there's no way I am going to extend myself more. Or they do in robotics and they, you know what, I want to spend my time down there working on my robots and trying to make it to national as they are right now in St. Louis, right? So it all depends. That's the reason why we do value the fact that as a school, we have an open access program, which is very valuable to sustain it that way.
Thank you. That's some good advice. Last week I was at the Davis STEM Festival and the robotics club was there and they were really lovely engaging with the children. Just because you mentioned it, I want to say that.
Since we have you there, uh, you talk about athletes. How are they supported with all of this, with the rigors of academics? I would think they would need an extra lens, but tell me what you think about that.
Yeah, that's a great question. Thank you for bringing that up. I think because it gives me the opportunity to highlight also, we have a whole army of tutors at the high school. They're all part of the different national honor societies that we have. And if you go one afternoon, you're going to see a bunch of athletes in the library, which we keep open till 5 p.m. every day, receiving tutoring, specifically as part of the support system before they go to practice. Coaches are very flexible. They make sure that if athletes they need additional help, they can arrive to practice a little bit late because that way they can go to a tutoring session right after school. And the power of that is that we have peer-to-peer tutoring, which not only allow the peer tutor to continue sharpening their skills, but now they're also developing a relationship with one of their student colleagues as well. So that's a wonderful thing that we got going on, and it has become part of our common daily practice.
And please keep in mind that in New Rochelle, we emphasize the fact that we are breeding student athletes. The student comes first. That is a requirement that allows you on the field or on the court, is that you're meeting the requirement necessary in your academic classes before you become a representative of New Rochelle on the field or on the court.
Ms. Williams?
Thank you, Dr. Roberts and Dr. Tellez for this wonderful presentation, and thank you to your team. I just have a question. What is dual enrollment? What are dual enrollment courses?
So dual enrollment is an opportunity for high school students to actually take college courses while in high school. That's why it's dual, college student, high school student. And so they have the opportunity to attain college credits before graduating.
Thank you.
Just a little bit more information. For the dual enrollment programs, the students are actually students of that college. So the credit that they're earning is applicable to that college. That's how it differs from AP courses, in which you can have the successful completion of a course applied to multiple colleges. So we have several dual enrollment programs. I think our oldest partner is SUPA, right? Is with us, Syracuse University. So they're actually they're earning college credit as a Syracuse University student that can then potentially be recognized by another school as if they were transferring over.
The price also, this is a wonderful deal for our families. This is a wonderful deal for our families because you have a student basically paying $425 for a Syracuse course that produces 4 credits. And going to Syracuse University and gaining 4 credits for $425 is not, it's a dream. And even for WCC, it's $225 for 3 credits. So it is a great deal for our families and our kids to have access to those college credits at the high school level.
And a clear distinction is dual enrollment, you receive the college credit immediately. AP, that you may earn the score of a 3, 4, or 5 on an AP exam, but the university determines whether or not it will accept and award the credit. It is not automatic.
Any other comments or questions? All right, seeing none, thank you guys very
Thank
much.
you.
Next up on our agenda is public comment. Ladies and gentlemen, we're about to convene into the public comment period of the meeting. The Board of Education adopted policy 1230 in April 2022 to ensure all members of the public had the opportunity to speak at both of our board meetings each month. We believe it is crucial for us to hear from our community members about their concerns and issues. Having said that, please note that the board is here to listen. The public comment period is not designed to be a discussion. Accordingly, understand the board will not respond to your concerns and questions tonight. We take your concerns and questions seriously and want to have sufficient time to process and research issues if need be. We will, however, respond to your questions and concerns at a future meeting or have the proper staff member get back to you at the appropriate time. I also want to point out that under state and federal privacy laws, we are unable to entertain any comments or questions about school personnel and students. Please know, however, that we take personnel concerns very seriously. On these matters, we would ask you to go through the appropriate administrative channels. Finally, we recognize that right now our nation and our community are polarized on a number of issues. That said, we want our school board meetings to serve as an example to our students that members of our school board and members of our community can deal with controversial issues in a civil manner and demonstrate mutual respect for one another. In that spirit, we will insist that all speakers and members of the audience maintain civility and respect for any divergent views that others possess. We ask that speakers please address their comments to the board directly rather than the audience. In the unlikely event the meeting becomes unruly, the board will recess the meeting and return once order has been restored. Finally, I want to remind everyone that you may submit written comments to the board in lieu of speaking during the public comment period if you so choose. Tonight, we've set aside 30 minutes for public comment, where each speaker who has signed up before 3:30 today has 3 minutes to speak. If a person requests to speak after 3:30, speakers may sign up in person at the meeting with the clerk and will also be afforded the opportunity to speak. Our first speaker of the night is Ms. Brenda DiGiacomo.
Good evening, everyone. Brenda DiGiacomo, a parent, a citizen of New Rochelle, graduated from here. I like that presentation. It gave some good information that we all need to know about what's going on in our district. But one thing that upset me is I was told this year, since we're closing Huguenot PTSA, that Huguenot and the high school all one. Well, how come in that thing, I didn't hear anything about Huguenot Academy? How come it's only about New Rochelle High School? Where's some data about Huguenot Academy? Why can't, if we're gonna be all one PATSA and we're all one, why aren't we involved in that? Why aren't it say New Rochelle High School and Huguenot Academy students? Okay, this is upsetting to me what is being done here with Huguenot Academy and the PTSA. I feel that after what we went through last year, we were set up for failure, and this year we just failed because we didn't have the help and the guidance that I asked for. Okay, but first of all, I want to thank all the teachers and staff for all you do for all our students, because without you, our kids wouldn't be where they are now. My daughter graduated as a medical assistant yesterday, part 1 from Monroe University, which Huguenot Academy has a great relationship. When we move out of there, is our relations going to change? I can't get answers. We're talking about our kids with IEP and their levels and how counselors check in and that. Well, how come this year we got a new House 4 counselor and my niece is not being able to be checked in and she has IEP and she's not getting the help she needs? What about transportation? We're paying all this money for transportation. I got a kid in special needs who takes a bus. How come now, especially now, alternate side of the street parking started? Okay, so now there's one day there's not parking in front of my house, and I live on a one-way street. My son has to, and I have camera footage. My son has to cross the street to get on the own bus. See today how many people don't follow the bus signs, especially on North Avenue. So now, what if someone's in a rush and decides to go around the bus? Who is in charge of my son? The bus monitor that's just standing there looking, waiting for my son to cross the street? Especially special need, they should be crossing the street to get them, especially on the one way. I call the company. I sent emails. I talked about this before, and guess what? Still no answer. And guess what? The problem's still not solved. But transportation wants to make our prices go up. Why are they making our prices go up if they're not doing their job? Why aren't there accountability for them not doing their job? Why don't I feel like my child being safe getting on the bus? I had to get out of bed after having surgery to watch him to make sure he gets on the bus safe instead of just watching over camera. This issue needs to be fixed. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Giacomo. Next up is Dr. Wilbright.
Good evening, everyone. I have to say that the presentation from Dr. Roberts actually kept everyone awake and engaged, and her delivery was wonderful. And it's great to hear the amount of progress that's being made by the New Rochelle school system, particularly at a time when we're being challenged by charter schools. And I don't think that we do enough to publicize the great achievements that we have here. And I would like to see more of it in the public with our families. You know, it has to be stated that we're a competitive school district. But anyway, and you made it hard for us this year. We had so many applicants for our scholarship this year, and so many of them were doing so wonderfully. It was very difficult choosing who should get what. But anyway, that's a sidebar. Um, I'm really here to talk about the restoration of the College and Career Center. I'm hearing from so many people, and particularly students and parents, that that's a center that was eliminated, that was a vital service to our kids at the high school level. And I know we have a budget deficit, and I know that we've increased the guidance staff and they have a fewer number of students, but they can't deliver the one-to-one service that many of our kids need at the time that they're really applying for college or looking to see what career they want to get into. So I'm thinking that that office doesn't have to be staffed by the highest paying guidance counselor or the highest paying teacher. It could be just an individual, an adult who cares about teens and that knows how to be resourceful. So that's something I think should be reconsidered. They need assistance in their college essay writing. They need assistance in completing their college applications. They need to have access to computers that they can work on with an adult assisting when needed. Just researching colleges and completing financial aid applications and researching financial aid is something that many of our kids need assistance with. And the Career Center, I think, is very important for those students that are not college bound when they're graduating. They need to know what's available to them. They need guidance. And I'm speaking with people here in the city who have open competitive exams for firefighters and public works, and they are college, they don't have to have the college background. They could be high school graduates, but our kids need to know that and be able to apply for these jobs and be prepared for them. So that Career Center is very important. They need help with resume writing at the Career Center center, and a place that local businesses can also drop off their needs for hiring. So anyway, that should be considered. I don't think it'll cost a lot to reinstitute that at the high school. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Wilbright. Next up is Ms. Cook.
Good evening, everyone. I listened to this and I'm excited about the way we're moving, but I'm also a little concerned. I'm worried about some of the programs that we have that are important, like My Brother's Keeper, My Sister's Keeper. When Dr. Joyner is not here, I want to make sure that you understand the importance of keeping those programs at the high school, because those are some of the reasons why we have the rates that we have, because we have to build confidence and connection with our kids. And a lot of times it just takes one dynamic person, one adult in their lives that puts them onto school and makes them want to go that extra mile to graduate. We have to make sure we keep these programs. The Equal Opportunity Schools, another great program. We have to make sure we keep them. When you're considering cuts and changes, we need to think about the things that students love and poll those kids and see what it is that got them over the hump. When Ward, and I don't want to, well, Mr. Mealy's not listening right now, but one thing that nobody mentioned is that only 9% of their L's are proficient. We're proficient in the fall, and that went down to 7% in the winter. That's a problem. And that is why, and I'm not saying that's just one school, that's endemic of that population, and especially in this climate, but it's across the schools, and that's why we see that rate not moving at the high school. So what are we doing? How are we going to address that? What do we do? It's not even, it wasn't even mentioned. I was like, I wanted to raise my hand. I was waiting for one of you to mention it because it's worrisome, right? And then we move them through, and we need to make sure that we're putting the resources in place for them. So that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Cook. Would anybody else like to sign up for public comment tonight? Okay, seeing none, we're going to move into our new business consent agenda personnel resolutions. Colleagues, can I get a motion and a second to approve consent agenda for personnel resolutions number 26-376, 1 through 2, number 26-377, 1 through 19, number 26-378, 1 through 5, number 26-379, 1 through 4, number 26-380, 1 through 6, and number 26-381, 1 through 3, according to the recommended action for each item.
So move, Lewis.
Second, Vega.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next up is our new business consent agenda general resolutions. Colleagues, can I get a motion and a second to approve consent agenda for general resolutions number 26-382 through number 26-390, according to the recommended action for each item?
So
So-
move, Lewis.
Second, Clayton Fernandez.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Our next meeting will be Wednesday, May 6th, here at City Hall, which will also be our public hearing on the 26-27 proposed budget. Colleagues, can I get a motion and a second to adjourn the meeting?
So move Vega.
Second, Lewis.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Good night, everyone.